welcome back to Blackthorn Cottage. If you're new here, my name's Anna and I'm a flower grower and florist based in Northumberland, and I live here with my husband Johnny and my two dogs, Frank and Neville. Suddenly the sun is coming out. And today I'm in my greenhouse and it's getting pretty full in here. I actually got my husband Johnny to make me some more shelves. I'll do a little panning shot so you can see how it looks, and they're perfect actually. The ones on this side are a little bit lower and these ones are a tiny bit higher so that these ones don't block the sun on this side, and it's just giving me that little bit more space because I was starting to, it's starting to get a bit desperate in here. I was starting to have to stack things on the floor and on top of my I've got like a little tray full of compost, so that was always covered in trays of seedlings as well. But it's giving me a lot more space, which is nice. So this week I've been sowing quite a bit more. I'm almost there. Am I almost there with it? I've still got quite a lot to do this month. I got a little bit behind last month because I ran out of space, which was annoying, but now I can get back on top of it. So I've been doing lots of seed sowing this week. All of my autumn sown sweet peas are ready to go out. Here they are. There's a lot more. I went a little bit overboard with sweet peas this year, not gonna lie. So I mean, you can never have too many sweet peas, right? That's my logic. But I've been hardening these guys off, so I'm going to pop these out on the table now and let them sit outside all day. And that just gets them used to being outdoors, because if they're in the greenhouse and they're lovely and warm and then you plant them straight into the ground, then they can get a bit of shock. So if you harden them off, so put them outside during the day and then take them back in and do that I normally do that for about a week. And then I just leave them out on the table after that for a week or so, and then I can plant them out. I need to make some more sweet pea trellising, so I'm going to do that this week as well. I've ordered a load of hazel and willow from a local hazel grower who's really nice, and I bought quite a bit from her last year as well. Last year for my birthday, my husband Johnny got me a course with this woman Ruth, who's really nice, and she came with another woman that she works with, and I got my own private willow structure making course, hazel and willow structure making course, which was incredible. So they're not going to look as professional this year, I think, because it'll just be me making them. Quite a lot of it uses similar techniques to basket making. So it was very interesting hearing all of the different terminology, because I hadn't heard any of that terminology before. But that was a great day. So I'm going to attempt it this week on my own. I might get my husband to come and help if he's around as well, because it's quite helpful to have another person to hold them up. Two of my arches were destroyed in the winter, annoyingly. So I need to remake them, and then I want to make a new structure for my sweet peas as well. So I'll get that done this week. A little bit more seed sowing as well needs to be done. And top dressing and edging borders. Maybe my least favourite garden job, I think. Edging and top dressing. It's very satisfying. I really like the weeding and trimming back perennials and those sorts of jobs, but I'm not very good at the edging, so it always ends up like a little bit wonky. And yeah, top dressing is satisfying because it's like the last thing you do, and then everything looks very neat and beautiful, doesn't it? So I do quite enjoy that. But anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful spring day. All of the blackthorn is in blossom, and it looks absolutely magical at the minute. So I'm going to really enjoy being outside on this beautiful day and just getting some really important garden jobs done for this year. I need to get ready for the growing season. Planting out next month, which is a bit mad really. Feels like there's a lot to do between now and then, so I better get cracking. See you in a bit. So you always know it's spring when Johnny's bees are out and about in the garden. And I've been having some real camera issues this week, so quite a lot of the footage is a little bit out of focus. So let's just pretend I did that on purpose to be arty. But I got on with all those garden jobs, edging borders, top dressing, One of my least favourite garden jobs. And then I tackled this bit of the garden, which got really badly damaged during the renovation when they drove diggers over it. And so our neighbour Will helped us by making this terrace last year. And so I spent a good chunk of time weeding the borders and planting some new perennials in there and top dressing everything. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this develops over the year. I gave the terrace a good sweep. And then sat down to admire all my handiwork. I'm so pleased with this bit of the garden. Every time I look at it, it makes me smile. The dogs really like it as well. Then after that I went to the woods to pick some foliage to arrange with the next day. So I picked some wych elm blossom, which I've never used in an arrangement before, but I thought it looked really cool. And met a neighbour's dog. And then I picked some snowberry foliage, which I've also never used before, but every time I look at it on my walks I think, ooh, that would be nice in an arrangement. And then I brought it all back to my flower studio and picked some hellebores to go with it, all different colours and shapes, and lots of tulips. And then I had a really lovely half an hour walking around, choosing all my favourite narcissi varieties. Whenever I'm in this bit of the garden, Neville's always watching. And then I popped them all in my flower studio to condition overnight. And that just means leaving them in water somewhere nice and cool. What's that
there?
about? Yeah?
Yeah?
Yep.
So you've got these plants here?
Yeah, yeah. It's, yeah, it's about there in those beds, isn't it? It's about that far up. And then
Like that?
yeah. Well, you can do it without a ladder.
Yeah, okay. Like there?
Yeah. So it's a bit later in the day and me and Johnny have just finished making the first of our willow and hazel arches, think it's looking pretty good. I'd forgotten like 90% of what I learned last year doing my course, but it's really come together. And yeah, Johnny's very practically minded, so he's the perfect person to be helping with the job. And now I'm in my newly cleaned out flower studio. It was incredibly messy, and I had a good clear out on a couple of days ago on Friday, getting it all ready for the growing season. And I've got it full of flowers, so I'm going to have a go at making an arrangement. I recently did a flower course with Sarah from Simply by Arrangement, that's the name of her business, and she's got a really beautiful Instagram account where she makes incredible flower arrangements. And so I went on the Monday, just last Monday, and we had a day in her studio learning how to make flower urns, and then we made a flower bowl using this bowl. So I got a new bowl for my collection. It's really nice, but it's a beauty. Can you see that? Is it in focus? My focus on my camera's been a bit dodgy recently. Are you in focus? Yeah, you are now. and so I'm going to make a flower bowl now. And so I'm going to make a flower bowl now using this beautiful new bowl and all the narcissi that I picked yesterday. And it's a nice way. It's a Sunday afternoon, and I've been in the garden all day, edging beds and weeding and making hazel arches. So this is going to be a nice way to end the day, playing with some flowers. And then I had a really lovely time in my flower studio arranging all those bits that I picked the day before. Lots of lovely bits of foliage and blossom. And then all of my favourite narcissi varieties. Lots of lovely shapes and colours and textures. And then some tulips and clematis and hellebores. It's so nice to be picking lots of flowers again from the garden. Then all I did was put a large pin frog in the bottom of this bowl and top it up with water. And then I made the structure of the arrangement using wild currant branches. I always think they have really interesting shapes. After that I used some amelanchier for the beautiful blossom and different tones of leaves. And then I started adding the narcissi at different heights. Keeping some dancing out of the top and others quite close to the bottom. And here it is. I also added some tulips at the last minute. And this is it in the house. I'm not 100% happy with the shape of it. It became out a little bit too round, but I really like all the colours and it smelled really good. And it's making me smile every time I walk past it. So I hope you enjoyed that arrangement. It was really nice working with mostly just narcissi like that. There's a few other bits of foliage and some blossom in there as well. But it was a really good challenge because they're very straight stemmed narcissi. So it was a good challenge to try and get some movement in there. So it was maybe a bit more sort of rounded and structured than I would normally make an arrangement. But I really liked the colour of it. Every time I walk past it, it kind of glows with all those like creams and like buttery yellows and pinks. And it smells really, really good. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. I'm also trying really hard at the minute to not compare myself to other florists and sort of wish that I was further ahead at this than I am. I'm trying to just enjoy being at this stage. You know how easy it is to do that when you're learning a new thing and you think like, oh, I just wish I was at this stage rather than being at this stage, rather than, you know, inhabiting that and being, and this is where I am and this is, you know, the learning stage that I'm at, and enjoying it for what it is. So that's my bit of a resolution this year, is to try and do that. What I did with, because I had quite a few flowers left over, is I made another arrangement. So I'll put in a bit of footage of that now. I made that yesterday and it was really different. It was much smaller and I tried to put a bit more movement in there, slightly more airy stems, and it was much darker as well because I had lots of hellebores and darker tulips left over. But I did that course with Sarah, Simply by Arrangement, this week, which was so good. I really enjoyed it. And one of the things she talked about, probably the main thing that I've taken away from it, is just the importance of practicing. She practices every day. If you follow her on Instagram, which I would really recommend you do, she's great. She's just always making arrangements, constantly practicing. So I think sometimes I feel like if I'm doing an arrangement, I've got to get a camera out and film every aspect of it. And then often you're like, oh, you don't have time to do it because it's, you know, it's quite a time-consuming thing. So I think I need to just get in the habit of just every couple of days picking a load of stuff and then doing, you know, multiple arrangements a week, so that I just get more and more confident with it. But I'm enjoying it so much. It's that day I had with Sarah just reaffirmed how much one day when I feel more confident, I would like to do workshops myself like that and have people come and I can teach people how to make arrangements and just be surrounded by flowers and pots that I've made. So yeah, one day I'd love to do that. But anyway, it's come to the end of the video, I think. So thank you so much for watching. As you can see, I'm up in our bedroom, which was gloriously empty for a little while. So I'll put in a little picture of that so you can see how empty it was. And now it is full of stuff from our room of doom. So our spare room has been piled to the ceiling with things for the last couple of years, and we've been slowly emptying it out. But I have a bit of a deadline because my friend is coming to stay on Saturday and it's now Thursday, and she's going to sleep in this room. So I need to get it. I want it to be nice. It's going to be still building sitey, but I want to make it, you know, not a depressing place to sleep. She's only staying for one night and then me and her are going on holiday together, so that's going to be really nice. But I think I might finish the video like that. I'll show you some bits of video over the last few months where we've been getting this room from, as you'd have seen it in the last renovation video, which was video number 6, I think, in January, of us, where this was like there's a big hole in the wall here where the window now is, and there was just, yeah, it looked kind of bleak and depressing. But we've done a lot of work since then, and we're mostly Johnny, because I've been doing loads in the garden. He's been doing some really sterling work in here. So yeah, that's how I'm going to finish this video. So thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much for all your really lovely comments as well. I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying reading about what you're all up to in your gardens each month. So please let me know what you're up to in your garden this month. I'm sorry I can't reply to all of them, but I read them all, and I love how I'll be reading one and someone will be telling me about how much snow they've got still in their garden and how they live in like somewhere like Alaska and it's super cold, and then the next comment will be from someone living on a Pacific island or living in New Zealand, and you just think, wow, it's just really interesting to hear what everyone's growing and what their garden jobs are and all those sorts of things. So please let me know what you're up to, and if you're not a gardener, what you're up to in your work rooms, or yeah, what you're making at the minute. I'd love to hear all about it. All is going well here. I feel like I'm on track now. I've had my neighbour Will, who made our terrace back in September. I'll put some footage in of him making the terrace for us. he came back and finished the last bit of the terrace that needed making. We needed a bit more stone. And then he's helped me a little bit with the edging of the flower beds, which has been really good. So I'm hoping that going forward, that's going to be something that he does, maybe just for a couple of hours a month. Just comes and helps me with some of those garden jobs. Because when you're trying to do all the things and wear all of the hats, it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. So having a little bit of help has been really, really nice. But anyway, I am waffling, so I'm going to go and crack on and see if I can get this room all beautifully finished for the end of this video. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And enjoy these little bits of footage of what we've been up to with our house renovation. Bye.